All right, guys, welcome back to the show. In this episode, I want to talk to younger people, ages, who knows, maybe 18 to 25, maybe even a little older than that. Really doesn't matter what age you are, but I want to talk about being young and lost, okay? Because I get a lot of messages from people who are 22 years old saying, I don't know where my life is going. I'm almost 25. I'm getting so old. It's like, guys, you have so much time. If you're in your 20s, even in your 30s, your life is far from over, okay? Now, what you're going through, I feel like in your early 20s is because I went through the same thing when I was, 24 to 26, I feel like, maybe even younger. For me, I was always following a dream that I had. Okay. So I didn't have too much time to dwell on this subject, but I remember dwelling on it for sure at some point in my 20s when I thought, I'm getting so old. I don't know where my life is going. I don't know what I'm going to be in the future. These are the questions you have. And I feel like this stress and, sometimes even depression of these thoughts, it really comes from you're just growing out of, your teenage years, you being a kid. Okay. That's what you're growing out of. That's what's actually over. Not your life. Your life is not over. Okay. You're 25. You still have 20, 30, maybe even 40 years left of your life. Okay. More than half of your life left. So what you're transitioning from in your early 20s is you being, a child, a teenager in high school. People stress out after they leave college, even high school, because this is a new stage of your life. Okay. Doesn't mean you're getting old. It's just a new stage of your life. You don't know exactly what your career is going to be. You don't know what kind of person you were going to be, I think, until your mid to late 20s, maybe even later. Right. So that's, I think, where your stress and depression and, feeling lost is coming from, is really just a transition from school, being a kid, being a teenager, having hundreds of friends, whatever that is, to, more of an adult lifestyle. That's why you're stressed and that's why you feel lost. Okay. But you have to know that you are still very young. In your 20s, you don't have to figure out exactly what you want to be when you're 22, 23 years old. Okay. I didn't know until even later on in my 20s what, I thought I wanted to be or what my career was going to be. My career has changed over the years. You just never know. So you can't be so stressed early 20s saying, I'm getting old, I'm catching up to 25, and then I'm catching up to 30. It doesn't matter, guys. You have to live in the moment, in the day. You're not even guaranteed another 5 years. Nobody's guaranteed tomorrow. So you have to live and be happy to, where you are now. You should be happy with where you're at, what you're doing. If you're not, find ways, to make yourself happy. Find things that you're passionate about. I read something, I forgot what book it's from, but it says, a kid actually in the book says, I don't know where I'm going. And then someone says, well, do you know where the next step is? And he says, yes. Then the guy says, well, just take that. Okay. Just take the first step. You don't have to, see the whole picture. You don't have to know the whole road. You just have to take one step in the right direction every time. And eventually you'll get to where you want to be. Okay. Don't be stressed out in your early 20s thinking that you're lost, because at that time, it is difficult. Like I said, you're leaving school, you're leaving college, you're getting into the workplace now. You're losing friends, not really losing them, but I would say maybe you're shedding some friends. You've had, I don't know, in my days, anyways, not that long ago, but, I know kids now are mostly grown up on social media and they might actually be less social than maybe even 10 years ago. Okay. But in high school and college, typically is when you have the most friends and the most people around you. So when you leave there, and it's time to get to work, and you're in your early 20s or mid 20s, if you're not, in long college or university courses, this is a time where you're going to feel a little more lonely, I guess you could say, because you're going to have less friends around you, less acquaintances, only really your true friends are going to stick around. That might be a handful, that might be less than 10. So, in reality, it's actually better for you, but, you kind of perceive it as you're more lonely. You might feel a little more depressed because there's not much action going on out of school, out of college. There's parties, there's whatever's going on in school is a lot more active than, you getting out of school and then you're home a lot and then you're working home. And then as you get older, you get a little less friends. Okay. People move on, people move cities, people get into long-term relationships. You might even be in a long relationship yourself. And then you realize that, friends start veering off and doing their own thing. It's important to keep in touch with your friends. Don't get me wrong. I would always keep in touch with my friends, even a couple times a month or whatever it is. Eventually, as you get older, you start seeing them a little less. But once you guys get back together, it's like you never left, right? So always keep in touch with your friends. But, in your early 20s, you're going to feel like you're losing friends, or, you don't keep in touch as much as you used to. And I really feel that's normal, because you're just transitioning from your school, college years where, they were always around you almost every day. Okay. So I think it's normal. And a lot of younger people go through this is, they're thinking about their past, they're reminiscing about their friends and things they used to do. That is normal. Okay. You're not lost. You're not depressed. You're just going through life and realizing that like you're transitioning to an adult now. Okay. And, I know a lot of kids are getting stressed too about what job they're going to do, what kind of career they're going to pick up, what they're going to do out of college. Because a lot of people go to college, they come out of there, they've been in there for 3 years taking a certain subject, they come out and they're not even doing that as their job, whatever they took. They're doing something else, just a regular job to get by until they find what they want. And then they're even more depressed because I went to school for 3 years for this and I'm working at a fast food restaurant or something like that just to get by, because they can't find a job in what they took in college, which is also fine. You might not find something right away. You might even pivot onto something else later on. Okay. But you can't stress out about all these things while you're so young. Okay. In your 20s is when I would say even, 17 to 30 is when you could make your most mistakes. You could learn who you want to be. You could learn what you want to do, find things you're passionate about, find the friends that are your true friends and stick with them. This is the time. Okay. This is just a big time for change for you that you have to understand and know that one, you're definitely not alone. I think everybody from ages 18 to 25 are going through similar things. Right? So you're not alone in this, and you will find a way and you will find the right path to your life when the time is right. Okay. So don't be so depressed on you getting older. Everybody's going to get older. Okay. Like I said, you're not guaranteed tomorrow like anybody else is. Okay. So enjoy what you have now, enjoy where you're at, and take the first steps to wherever it is you want to be. And eventually you will get there. Okay. Do something that you're passionate about. Stay within hobbies that you enjoy doing. If you can, find something that you could do for work in exchange for money that you're passionate about. Whether it's working for someone else or starting a business, starting a passion project, chasing your dream, whatever it is, in your 20s especially, even in your 30s, you can chase whatever you want. I would say at any age. You could take a huge turn at 45 and say, I want to start a YouTube channel and be consistent and disciplined with that. And you could do that. It doesn't really matter. You're never stuck to where you're at ever in life. No matter how old you are, you'll see, I don't know names and businesses exact off my mind, but you'll find things on the internet where, celebrities or businessmen, they started in their late 30s, some of them 40s, and then they're rich by 50. You don't have to have it all figured out at 20 years old. Okay. When I was exactly 20, I was doing something completely different than I'm doing now. Okay. So don't be depressed. Don't be stressed of where you're at. Know that your life will find its way exactly how you want it. Okay. You just have to know what you want, find things you're passionate about, and chase after those. Okay. Don't stay stuck on reminiscing of the past and you getting older. Okay. Because that's going to happen. You just have to understand that this is a transition time for you where you're leaving your childhood and becoming an adult. And that's normal. Okay. Just don't dwell on it too much and don't let it get you into depression where, you have brain fog, you can't focus, and you don't know exactly what you want to do with your life. Okay. Move on from the past. Understand that you are growing up into a new life, and that life could be whatever you want to be, whatever you're passionate about. Just focus on that and take the small steps to get there along the way. And eventually you're going to get what you want. All right. So I hope that inspired you and motivated you guys a little bit. I see this a lot with people in their 18, 20, 22. They think they're old, even at 25, they're like, I'm already 25. Society thinks I'm old. It doesn't matter what society expects from you. Okay. You don't have to be married at 23, 25, 28. You don't have to have kids by 30 or a house. It is whatever you want. Your life is your life. Everybody has a different path. Everybody has different timing. Okay. So don't stress about what people think. Do what you have to do to get where you want. And that could be whatever you want. All right. So I'll leave this video at that. If you guys like this video, anyone watching, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. That's what inspires me to make more. I'll see you on the next one.